Welcome to another Old Man Yells at Old Man. That is a good description of Brad and his quest to stop homes from being built in Austin. So, I mean, fair.
Is my internet messing up? I wonder, because I'm getting a lot of glitches here. No? Are y'all seeing that?
No, we're not seeing a thing.
Old Man Yells at Old Man is in honor of the upcoming presidential debates.
Well, isn't that perfect timing? Because that's what we're talking about today.
Are you hosting or me? I think I'm supposed to, but you can if you'd like. It seems like you're.
Go for it.
No, it's okay. You did.
No,
you started.
Hosting.
Oh my God! Welcome to the BCM Podcast. I am today's host, Brad. That's the B in BCM. I have Charles to my top left. That's the C, and Michael to my top right. That's the M. That's right. I can spell. And don't forget to subscribe and share with friends. You know how to do all that stuff. And if you haven't shared with friends, why the fuck not? Is the best question that we have to ask today. Why haven't you done that?
Because they're probably going to say. That's probably why. They're probably afraid of what you'll say. They're probably afraid of what you'll say.
What I will say?
Yes.
Specifically.
Give me a break. I already schooled y'all on culture last week. Michael, you didn't post that video that I made. I don't know what the hell I'm doing over here.
Wait, didn't post? I scheduled it.
Well, you're scheduling. You need to fire your scheduler. So today we are talking about, let's see, we got the presidential debates, and is RFK going to join? Squatters in Texas. I know that Charles is big on squatters. He got arrested for that several weeks ago. Update on UFOs, Dave Smith and Chris Cuomo debate. And I think we got some potpourri this is Charles's potpourri this week. So we're all excited. Before we jump into all of that, what? You got something to say?
No. Nope.
Good. Before we jump into, I know I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball here, but I just wanted to. Where's Valentina Gomez? She's running for the Missouri Secretary of State. Have y'all heard of her?
Nope.
Unfortunately, you have?
Yes.
Why do you say that's unfortunate?
Because I've been seeing some of these videos. I think that's who you're talking about.
I am, and I'm trying to share my screen, but again, I don't know what the hell is coming up with. Can y'all see it yet?
No, we just see you there.
Yeah.
Is it? You might have something.
I don't know why I don't know why it's not sharing. There it goes. Now I can do it. Here she is on Timcast.
Make America Great Again.
And who are you? What do you do?
I'm Valentina Gomez. I am running to become Missouri's 41st Secretary of State. Countries that ban rifles, guns, or even flamethrowers are weak and gay, because you should be ashamed of yourself if you cannot defend your family or your community.
They're weak and gay. Now, Valentina Gomez running for Secretary of State of Missouri. She doesn't sound like a Missourian. What they call them? Missourians? I think so. But she says that you ban stuff like that.
To become Missouri's 40th state, countries, guns, or even flamethrowers are weak and gay, because you should be.
This is her tagline, I think. She also does this run.
In America, you can be anything you want. Don't be weak and gay.
Don't be weak and gay. Stay fucking hard.
Why is she jogging with a bulletproof vest on? Like, she's trying to be Secretary of State of Missouri, and you need to.
Are you falling into the trap of being weak and gay?
Yes,
so I was very closely paying attention to our last episode to her head movements. Not crazy, according to your. But then she speaks and says, "Don't be weak and gay," as a tagline for her campaign. I think it's debatable.
That's the era of politics we're living in.
What's debatable?
How outrageous you can be, the age of politics, whether she's crazy or not.
Okay. Well, I don't know if she's crazy.
Her head movements say no. What she's saying says yes.
But does that make her crazy? I don't think it makes her crazy. It makes her edgy. Maybe she's an online goon. She's just terminally online, surfing the 4chans a little bit too much. Everything's, they say everything's fake and gay or weak and gay. They say that stuff all. Is she on 4chan? Is she a 4chan moderator? We're going to have a 4chan. Huh?
She could be.
Yeah, well, anyhow, so I wanted to just bring that up, see what you guys thought about it, and turns out that y'all are it sounds like y'all are what she's talking about.
Yeah, we need to stop being so weak and gay. She's running for Secretary of State.
Yeah.
What do I want to hear about? What she's going to do as Secretary of State.
Why do you want to hear that? Who cares?
I want to hear about the problems that everyday Missourians are facing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys, lame. All right, let's move on to the real topics that we came here to discuss. All right, what's going on with the presidential debates? We got some going on. Are they real debates or are they fake debates?
Well, I mean, if you listen to Trump, he always called CNN fake news, and so you would assume that would mean that this is a fake debate. But no, it is actually a real debate hosted by CNN on June 27th, I believe it is. Yes. So are we excited? How are we feeling about this?
Yeah, hold real quick though. Devil's in the details. Biden, in addition to sending his real tough guy, non-weak and gay message on Twitter challenging Trump to a debate, he sent a letter to CNN saying, "Yeah, I'll do a debate, but here are the conditions: no live audience,
That's
like
ridiculous.
a sit down, no RFK Jr."
Oh, that was that was one of the contingencies, huh? Wow.
They didn't say it explicitly, but those are the two big ones that I noticed. He had some other demands in there, but those were the two that I noticed.
I mean, a lot of people get kind of annoyed with the audiences in presidential debates.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily I think I disagree with that. I kind of like that the audience is there. Lets the candidates sort of play off the crowd a little bit. I know Trump's really good at that. You know, a little crowd work, as the stand-up comedians call it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's probably why he doesn't want that there, because he knows that Trump does very good when it comes to working with the crowd, and Biden does not. And I think Biden needs to have a very, closely monitored environment. It needs to be optimal conditions for him to breathe. It's kind of like the State of the Union. And it needs to be these optimal conditions for him to present well. And I think having an audience, seeing him in full flesh, probably would not end up well for him.
Yeah, he's trying to control the environment for sure because he's 100 and they need to figure out what correct mix of cocktail he needs to be on that night, so that is dependent upon if there's a crowd or not a crowd. As far as the debate goes, am I excited? Not particularly. I don't know. I don't think it's going to change a single person's mind. First, second, we've already heard them spar over everything. What new are they going to bring to the table? And third, I would be interested if RFK was involved, but I don't see. I would see if RFK qualifies, which they've kind of laid out what the qualifications would be. If he actually qualifies, I bet you one or both jump ship, or they find some other technicality to exclude him.
I don't know if my internet connection is messed up because it's y'all keep like freezing and keep going. I don't know if y'all are experiencing the same thing. Hopefully, it's not recording that way. I don't know when to talk.
That was good.
So, I mean, what?
Nothing. Go ahead. No wonder you're so delayed. It's your internet connection. Go ahead.
I'm gonna fix my internet connection. I will be back. Is that okay with y'all? Can y'all continue the show without me for 5 minutes?
I hope so.
I think that y'all can. I'll be back.
Jeez,
right.
that delay is something else. Gosh, goodness.
Wow.
So to lay out the qualifications, CNN is saying that to be eligible, they must appear on a sufficient number of state ballots to be able to reach 270 electoral votes, the threshold to win. And they need to poll in they need to agree to the rules and format and receive at least 15% in 4 separate national polls. And I saw some reporting saying that RFK has received 15% in 3. So if he gets another by June 20th, which I think is the cutoff for them to be able to have all of that done, he would make it. Now, does CNN then change the rules? Do they just explicitly prohibit him? Do the candidates walk? I can't imagine that they would. Like, how does that look if you're like, this man who has met all the qualifications is joining, so we're not going to? The sitting president and the former president, I think that'd be a little pathetic.
I think they concoct a reason. think about what's the benefit to them to debate with RFK on the stage.
Well, I think now I think they need to all be concerned about how RFK is now on the Texas ballot. He's on a number of states' ballots. They have to be genuinely concerned about how many votes he can pull from either of them. And I think they need an opportunity to show people who are typically their base, who may be, being courted by RFK's campaign, why they need to stay in their camp. I think it probably would be beneficial, if not for them directly, for the down ballot candidates that voting for RFK would hurt in both of those parties.
I just see upside for RFK. I don't see a lot of downside for him because he's a better debater than both of them. He's 10 years younger. People don't know who he is, and he's just going to trash both their records, which are easily trashable.
Well, Chuck Todd says RFK Jr.'s vocal ailment would make Biden look good by comparison. It's a crazy thing to say, but he said it.
Yeah. I mean, he's hard to listen to, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, here's his quote. It says, "If you ever spent a lot of time watching Robert Kennedy Jr. speak, I think if you were Joe Biden, you were going to want him on the debate stage." That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, if he's specifically talking about the ailment or like some of RFK's opinions, because some of his opinions would be offensive to both sides at different points. And so I mean, I would hope that we're not going to judge a candidate purely based on his vocal ailment, although I will say, yes, it's quite noticeable. You can't kind of get around that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Couple questions. One, are you going to watch it? And then two, should we do a live show with drinks? My answer to should we do a live show is contingent upon if there are drinks or not. If there are drinks, then yes. If there are not drinks, then no. And I think my answer, right, if I'm going to watch it, is contingent upon that as well. So I probably will not watch it if we're not doing something like that. Because I mean, well, okay, two things: if we're not doing something like that, or if RFK is not on. If RFK is not on, there's really no point. Like I know what they're all going to say. You can guess. They're not going to say anything new that you haven't heard before. So there would be really no reason to watch it. Oh, dang. Now that I'm looking at my calendar, I think I will be in I can watch it from Alabama. Hey, Brad.
Where are you going to be in Alabama?
Going to see my grandma in June. Big family convening.
Your mom's mom?
Yes.
I'm okay. That's great. That's really. I bet she's just as awesome as your mom.
Yeah, she is.
We were just talking about whether or not we're gonna watch the debate or second do a live show with drinks involved.
Oh my God! Yeah, let's do that. Come on, guys. Why wouldn't we do that?
No, we will. I think because he's going to be in Alabama.
Oh, come on. You can drink with your grandma.
I can.
I'm excited to watch the debates. Why wouldn't y'all be? I mean, it's not like, you're right, Michael. It's not going to change anyone's mind. Well, it might change some people that would otherwise, like if one of them fails miserably, it might push people over to RFK.
Well, my opinion is it's only going to change people's minds if RFK is on the stage. If it's just Biden and Trump, nobody's mind's being changed, in my opinion. Unless it's going to be changed from, I'm not voting for either of these guys. But I don't think anyone's going to be swayed one camp or the other if it's just the two of them on the stage.
So what do we do about this as a nation? You know, where Joe Biden, the paragon of democracy, the defender of democracy, the embodiment of democracy, is trying to prevent a third-party candidate from speaking to the American people that has a lot of support. He's not like Michael Searle signed up to, run for president and, now he wants to be on the debate stage. RFK has a real following. What do? Do we have a separate independent debate, a black market debate where RFK invites, I don't know, Trump or Biden, and they just do, Biden wouldn't do it, but they just do like a one-on-one? What happens?
I think that's inevitable. I think, eventually that's going to happen. It might be already being talked about as we speak between Trump and RFK. But to be fair, it's not just Biden who's trying to keep RFK off the stage. It is also Trump who's trying to keep RFK.
There's gonna be a lot of pissed off people at you. Trump is he's a fearless leader, and he would never do something like that. He would never. Why are you? Are you some sort of libtard cuck soy boy?
No, because the only person that has to. Yes, I am the only person that has something to gain is RFK. The other candidates just have. They're just going to lose by having RFK on the stage. Well,
why would they? I mean, if that's not necessarily true. If they beat RFK, and I guess it sounds like you don't think that they can beat him, but if they beat him, then it strengthens their resolve. It strengthens their base. It might sway some people over. No?
The only benefit that could possibly be won by either of the candidates is by making him look either crazy right wing or making him look crazy left wing. Other than that, the two of them have 4-year records that he's going to just trash on, and they can't really be like, "Oh no, my record's actually pretty good." How's that inflation?
I think that you're sure, but I think that you're maybe putting your mind in the general public's mind, and I don't think people, especially Trump support. I think a lot of people think that things were great under Trump minus COVID, and I think a lot of people maybe kind of forget that COVID happened under Trump and the things that he did. And the fact that he also helped shut down the country and kept Anthony Fauci in power, and he'd Operation Warp Speed, and the wall was never built, and Mexico didn't pay for it, and she was never locked up, and all sorts of things. I think people forget about that stuff. So, I mean, RFK can try to go after his record, but I don't know that would really work all that well. But I don't know how you also make RFK seem extreme right wing. That sounds impossible.
I mean, the vaccine stuff, huh?
How is that right wing?
What party does that associate with? I mean, do I think
anti-vax has long been left wing?
I'm not saying it as a derogatory thing, but today the anti-vax movement is predominantly on the right. Yeah, you have like those crunchy moms and stuff on the left who don't support vaccines and stuff for their kids, but today it's
Why are you so rude?
I mean, they call themselves crunchy moms.
I've never heard a crunchy mom call herself crunchy mom. I don't know what you got against moms. All right.
Vaccines, going after Anthony Fauci, censorship, the Twitter files, being called up to testify in front of the Republican House Committee on weaponization or whatever. There's a number of ways that you can try to position him as being cozy with the right wing, for sure. And they're going to try.
I think the only right. I mean, anti-vaccine it infiltrated the right for sure, but I think it's mostly the COVID vaccine. But I still think anti-vax has long been a left-wing position. But whatever. I think that would be a tall order for Joe Biden of all people to paint RFK Jr. as extreme right. Maybe, I don't know.
I think the point is that they're both going to be painting him as extreme white, right? Trump is going to be painting
white,
him as extreme left.
Damn,
extreme left, or even not even extreme, but just right and left, and then he's going to be in the middle with these positions that accompany both sides, looking like he is looking to some, especially the partisan folks, as if he is kind of a flip-flopper on these issues. Now, to your point about anti-vax, sure, you definitely find dozens of, Upper West Side progressive moms in New York City who don't vaccinate their kids. Yes, very true. But in at least the past 10 to 15 years, it has been a dominant movement on the conservative right.
Okay, sure.
Agreed.
My sister was actually, I think it was she was featured in the New York Times, so her picture was in the New York Times, I think, because she helped RFK Jr. get signatures.
Get out of here.
Texas. I mean, it's just a pic. I mean, get out of here. You've been on Candace Owens' show. Charlie Kirk.
I haven't been in the New York Times.
Huh?
I haven't been in the New York Times.
Well, it's because you're not crunchy enough.
RFK, I mean, his signature collection effort was significant. Twice the amount of signatures necessary, because he knew that they would try to kick him off the ballot here. And that's 250,000 people who chose not to vote in the primary, because you can't have voted in the primary and signed his petition. So there are a lot of frustrated people and frustrated with both parties out there, clearly.
It's true.
There she is, right there. It's my sister. And why having Kennedy on the ballot in Texas may worry Ted Cruz.
Wow, she's the main picture? That's crazy.
Main picture, that's her right there.
Her name's Kennedy?
Yeah, her name is Kennedy.
Oh.
Yep. My sister's name is Kennedy.
Never mind. I'm sorry.
Have you heard of? Have you been in this conversation for the past 20 minutes?
I read the shirt, and for whatever reason, the shirt made me think it was a name tag, and then whatever. Moving on.
Okay, that's interesting. Interesting way to go about it. Are we beat that dead horse? You want to move on?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, squatters. Now, Charles, I know that you're a big fan of squatters. Housing is a human right and all, and we got to get affordable housing for everybody. You're a YIMBY / communist. So tell us about squatters in Texas. You were arrested for this, as BCM once reported. You were arrested in Houston.
Did you say squatting? Was that some forethought that you? I can't remember exactly what you said. You said squatting. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, squatting is an issue in Texas. I think it's something that people are just now realizing is an issue in Texas, but it's a big issue in Texas. Actually, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is the second highest metropolitan area in terms of number of squatters. And there's no database, so this is kind of all anecdotal, but there's about 500 cases right now, they're saying, of squatting.
500 active cases?
Yeah.
Are you donating to their legal fund?
Yes.
I'm not surprised at all.
All the proceeds from this show go
you and Grimes.
So there are 500 active cases. There's reports of hundreds in Houston. And so essentially these people are moving into vacant homes, abandoned homes of, a lot of people will have a parent who passed away and now they're, going to sell the home down the road, but they're not in a rush to do so. Or the home is listed and has been listed for an extensive period of time and people move in and it's not impossible to get them out, but it's very difficult because the second that you call the police and the police show up, if that person claims that they are a resident there, it puts that they can't be removed and you have to go through an eviction process, even if this person does not have an actual lease with you. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah, that does sound kind of weird.
Is it state law or is it local?
It's state
regulation?
Law. It's because the cops, when they show up, they can't differentiate between a real lease, a fake lease, if this is a landlord-tenant dispute. And so the only thing that they can do is push it to eviction court so that the homeowner then has to proceed. This one woman who testified yesterday, Terry Boyette, who lives in Mesquite, Texas, she was at her mother's home in Florida for 3 weeks. Someone called and said someone was living in your house, called Mesquite Police Department. They're like, there's nothing we can do. This is a tenant issue. She's like, I don't have tenants. This is my home. What do you mean? And they're like, there's nothing we can do. You have to go to eviction court. 11 months later, she is still not back in her home because she had to go through eviction court, get a date set. Christmas came. The date was right around Christmas. They issued eviction, but the justice of the peace, and she testified this yesterday, the justice of the peace says, I wouldn't want him to be without a home for Christmas, so I'm going to give it a 30-day extension. She was like, what? Are you kidding me? It was like, and she said she started yelling, her lawyer started yelling, and the judge was like ignored her. And so in the meantime, the man ripped out all her furniture and appliances, sold them, had a garage sale, invited his friends to do crack in the house. So now there's like crack paraphernalia all over. Ripped out the AC out of the wall. So water damage got in, mold damage. She's $150,000 in debt from trying to remediate the house. And she had to keep paying property taxes, her mortgage, utility, and upkeep the outside of the house because the judge said if she didn't, that would be tenant harassment. And
so
what?
I'm disappointed that I wasn't invited to this crack party, but what do you do in this? What's her recourse? Does she sue this person? No, obviously the person doesn't have any money.
They don't.
Is this a Seinfeld episode where they become her butler?
I mean, maybe that could be it. I mean, there's no recourse at this point, so she can't sue him. She can only continue to pursue the eviction. The eviction has now been approved, but he's out of the house, but she can't move in because the house is destroyed, so she has to get it rebuilt. And add insult to injury, so she had to live with her mother in Florida while this was all going on because she had no place to live and couldn't afford a second home. She lost her job. Filed for unemployment in Texas, and they said, you can't file because you're not living here full time. And she's like, I'm not living here full time because I don't have a home because I can't go back to it. And they were like, well, sorry, something we can do.
Sounds like she needs to go squatting. I don't understand why the police couldn't come there and say, we need some sort of evidence that you live here, like a piece of mail or a bill or something like that with your name on it and this address. I think they do that stuff all the time when there's lack of identity.
Yes, but current state law, the way state law is currently is that as long as you show them something that resembles a lease, a paper that says you can live there. And a lot of times what they're doing is just creating these fake leases online. As long as you show them that, they cannot, technically they could still pull you out, but they don't want to because then they have to make a determination on the spot whether or not you're lying or not. And there's no way for them to really know other than through an eviction court. And so there's one constable I spoke with here in Harris County who said he goes extra lengths. If they show it to him, he'll contact the homeowner, he'll do all this work. But even then, even if the homeowner says, no, this is not a real lease, he's lying, he still cannot take this person out unless an eviction court gives him the ability to do so. And so this guy said that he does stakeouts outside of the houses to see when they break a law, because then once they break a law, then he can arrest them and pull them out of the house. He's like, but that's the only thing I can do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Shocking. What is the ledge going to do? It seems messy.
Very. So far, they've thrown around the idea of having kind of same-day hearings so that, there's a complaint, and then the homeowner goes down to the Justice of the Peace Court, signs an affidavit saying this person does not live there, and then they go and remove the person, bring them to court, and do a same-day hearing. The other option that they're saying is add criminal penalties, but I doubt maybe it'll work because there's no criminal penalties right now. It's only a civil offense.
What?
Yeah, squatting's a civil.
Stealing people's property is a civil offense?
Well, even though squatting is stealing people's property, it's not considered stealing. It's considered squatting, which is... Well,
I know that you're correct. I know that you're not lying, and it's not your rule or law. I get it.
I know, but it's crazy.
If it was your rule or law, then squatting would be legal. But this is absolutely... That's fucking crazy.
It's nuts. It is nuts.
Presumably, there's a lease with... I'm a landlord. There's a lease with my name signed with my signature, and there's a lease with the tenant's name and the tenant's signature, and we both have a copy.
Mm-hmm. No.
So create a fake lease, but it doesn't have my name on it and my signature. It should be
I can just do a squiggle mark and say that's your signature,
but compare it to my signature.
I know, but that's what he's saying. That they have the cop is not authorized to differentiate between real and fake.
Well, even if they did, the state law says that if a squatter shows what is called color of title, or essentially just a mock lease of some sort, that is enough for them to then put the proceeding on hold until an eviction court goes. So even if they did show this lease, because there was a lady here in Houston, there's a story about it on one of our local stations. She rented a home. She was renting a home out, but it was vacant, $3,600 a month. Come to find out, somebody's living in it. It's a whole family. She shows up. They show her a lease, being like, "This is our home," and she's like, "No, it's not. This is my home. My name's not on this lease." Cops still couldn't do anything. They said, "Go to eviction court," and she's like, "This is crazy.
This is fucking nuts." It reminds me of a story when I was 15, starting I think around 13 or 14 years old. I was the youngest of four. My parents just started letting me drive. They were like, "We've been over this far too long. We know you can do it. You have a license, just drive. You got it." And it was stupid stuff like going to the grocery store, whatever, right? My dad took me to his business at night because he had an extra car there and he wanted to drive it home, right? But he doesn't have two people to drive, so he brought me with him. I have experience driving. I think I was 14, 15 at the time. And it was at night, and we pull out of the parking lot of his business, and he zooms along to go home, leaving me in the dust, and I forgot to turn on my headlights. And a cop pulls me over. And the cop is asking, "Do you have a driver's license?" I said, "No." "Do you have any identification?" "No." And he asked, "Well, do you have anything like a letter with your name on it to prove your identity?" And of course I don't, because it's my dad's car. And so I have to pull over, get out of the car, and the cop drives me home. And this reminds me, because I'm thinking, well, can't the person just like show them an electric bill that says, "Hey, I actually do live here. I have this electric bill. It came to me. I'm paying the electricity. I have some sort of, skin in the game here." And it just kind of reminded me of that. At the end of the story is that we got home and my dad could not remember my name to prove my identity. So I had to stay in the cop car longer. But that's Huh?
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. Couldn't remember. He eventually got it right, but he couldn't remember my middle name. So the officer didn't let it slide. He called me my brother's names first, and then the officer was like, "Okay, finally he got to my name," and he said, "Well, what's his full name?" "Well, Bradley Swail." "That's not his full name. What's his full name? What's the middle name?" And he couldn't remember. So, what are you gonna do, right?
There's a lot there that I want to dig into, but we don't have the time or the show for it.
You can see it in Brad's eyes that it still hurts.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I think it's a funny story. This was 13 years ago or more. It was wait, more than 13. 20,
You're 27.
23 years ago.
Oh,
that was a long time ago.
Can we do the psychology of Brad episode?
I
would
love
love
that.
Let's do it.
Crack that line open and see what's in there.
You're not going to break this egg. Well, that's a wild story. I hope that I think squatters are scum of the earth and they should be punished severely. And I know that hurts Charles. That's a super scummy thing to do.
It is, yes.
I mean, I don't think it's extreme to say they're scum of the earth. It's not the only way you become scum of the earth, but that is certainly one way. Right?
Well, yeah, intentionally doing it, yes, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people accidentally squat. And if you're accidentally squatting, then you probably say, oh, sorry, that was an accident. I didn't mean to squat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's some innocence there. Anyhow, do we do you want to do potpourri?
Sure, let's do potpourri.
Okay, Charles, you want to do some potpourri? You wanted to maybe come to the table with some, what?
No, I'm curious. Did I want to do potpourri?
Is this not potpourri, historical fact that people would be shocked to know?
That wasn't potpourri, but sure. Okay, we can do
How
this
is that
potpourri.
not potpourri? It's clearing the air. It's non-political.
Okay. Oh, fair. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I just assumed that's what it was. What do you got? Because I got one that I think is kind of interesting. What do you got?
Okay. I got a couple. Well, I'll just use one. So, Woodrow Wilson was mentally and emotionally incapacitated by a massive stroke in October of 1919, and his wife and doctors essentially ran the country until Harding took office in 1921. Some people refer to Edith Wilson as the first female president.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Okay, well, I'll use a different one.
No. I mean, I had no idea. That is kind of. I mean, how long were they, quote unquote, in charge?
About 2 years.
What? That's insane.
Yeah, right.
My historical fact is also presidential in nature. Do you want to hear it?
Do tell.
Let's see. President John Tyler's grandchildren. John Tyler was the 10th president of the United States and was born in 1790. And he still has 2 living grandsons as of 2024.
Oh, wow.
2 living grandsons, not great-grandsons, not great-great-grandsons, grandsons.
So he's born in 1790?
Yep.
That's crazy.
I think this is a little outdated. I think only one still survives. And it's Harrison Rufin Tyler. He's 95. He was born in 1928. I think the story is that President Tyler had his last child at a very old age, and then his son also had children at very old age. And so that's how that works. It's kind of crazy though, still, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math in my head.
Of what?
Doesn't seem to make sense. How that works?
If he was born in 1790 and then he doesn't have kids until like late 1800. I know, it's wild. I mean, hey man, don't shoot the
1790. He has kids in 1850 when he's 60, and then that would mean if that's the case, his son would have had to have a kid when he was 68.
Well, his grandson. His grandson, who's still alive, his dad was born in 1853. And his dad, so Lyon Gardner Tyler, the President Tyler's son, was born in 1853. And then Harrison Rufin Tyler, the one that's still alive, the grandson, was born in 28.
He was 75.
Right. So they were both the president and the president's son were about 60, 70, between 65 and 75 when they had their final child. And so it just adds up. And then this guy, this Harrison Rufin Tyler, it's still alive. He's 95 years old.
Yeah.
So these people just live a long time. I think they're getting some of that Illuminati medicine.
Well, and I'm looking at this. He had 15 children. So he was definitely having them until his late age.
Damn, that guy was. Woo!
One lady? It can't be.
Two
ladies.
Letitia and Julia.
At the same time.
To be specific, President Tyler had a kid when he was 63 years old, and then his son had a kid when he was 78.
Jeez.
I guess
Crazy.
it's wild times. They didn't do things. They didn't think the same way we do now with our population crisis, right? They're like, let's do it until I'm all dried up and I can't do it anymore. right?
I've never actually met somebody who's like, I'm not going to have kids because of the climate. I mean, I've seen it in movies.
I've met people like that.
Wait, okay, I'm reading a weird quote, a weird part. It says Tyler and his son Lion remarried much younger women and fathered children at advanced ages, such that Tyler's daughter Pearl did not die until the 157th year after her father's birth. Like that, they were some old kids at old ages. That's crazy.
Kind of goes against the conventional wisdom that if you have kids when you're older, they're going to have health issues. And I know that's more predominantly for women, but I think it applies to men as well. But this guy's, they're banging them out at all these old ages and they're living forever.
Seriously. Jeez.
Michael, I have met people that say they're not going to have kids for climate reasons, among other things. Also, life is misery and it's immoral to bring people into this world. And, the anti-natalists, again, are they scum of the earth? Maybe. What's your historical fact, Michael? Did you have one?
I didn't know I was supposed to bring one, but I could.
What?
I thought Charles was just going to tell us one.
You don't have
the oldest shipwreck we've ever found is 2,400 years old. It's in the Caspian Sea, Black Sea, one of those seas at the bottom of the ocean where the oxygen levels are so low that it kind of preserved the boat intact. Wow. And it's from the Greeks, and they were sailing it to what is current day Romania, and they crashed, and it's just sitting there,
with all that precious treasure. And we're not, instead of going and finding this treasure, we're talking on a podcast.
I've been dying. Like there's so much sunken treasure out there. Like I really just want. I don't know how to swim, but like if I did,
what did you say?
You
don't know how to swim?
No, but if I did, I'd be so inclined to go out there like spelunking for treasure. There's a massive shipwreck off of the coast of Colombia that has a ton of gold on it, and they're just sitting on it because I think there's a dispute over whose it actually is.
Charles, I have to ask you about swimming. I can't not do this. I can't not do it. I know it's a stereotype that black people can't swim, right? I've met black people that can swim, so I know it's obvious it's not true. You have the capability to swim. But you're an adult and you're an adventurer. You've since we started the show, you've traveled to South America twice, I believe.
I don't venture into water.
Why not? Why don't you learn to swim? I will teach you. I've taught adults how to swim before. Why don't you learn how to swim?
I mean, it's not that I've never tried in life. Like when I was a kid, I tried. It just didn't work. And so I never tried again. And I don't really go into water except maybe up to my ankles or something if I'm in the ocean. But I don't really go to the ocean. It's not my thing. So I don't know.
Okay, I mean it's fine. I'm not. I hope this doesn't come off. I hope this does not come off as like I'm judging you or something like that. It's an honest curiosity. Like why not? What if you get a hot date and they want to go swimming?
Yeah.
Then I'll just sit at the edge of the pool. Like I don't. Like, who goes swimming regularly? When was the last time you both have gone swimming?
Yesterday. Well, that's not true, but last weekend. I have a pool. So.
I also have a pool, and I used to swim competitively. So,
well, my apartment has a pool. I've lived here 6 years. I've never been in once. I've been around the side for barbecue.
Well, that's fine, man. I encourage you to learn how to swim. It's fun. It's great exercise, and you should do that.
Wait, you were a competitive swimmer?
Yeah, I did triathlons in high school, and then I did a lot of swimming in college. Not for college, but I would swim for exercise and sport.
Not for the Olympics. Not for the Olympics.
No, I've never been in the Olympics, Charles. I feel like that would have come up by now.
I challenge you to a race.
A swimming race?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna lose, but that's fine. What's your stroke of choice?
Just as fast as I can.
Doggy style. Doggy style? Are we still talking about
doggy doggy paddle? Oh man, yep. I don't know. I just go like this, but I'm a fast swimmer.
So you do freestyle, the crawl?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
but Michael has larger limbs, so he's gonna beat you.
I don't give a fuck what he has. That giant is gonna go down.
I don't know, man. I'm a pretty fast swimmer.
Nope. You might be. I don't know. I wish you the best of luck. If I lose, that's okay. But you won't. But I will still win. Okay.
On time.
Huh?
I said hurry. Next topic.
Oh, next topic. Sorry. Let's see. We got Dave Smith versus Cuomo and UFO update. I don't know what the hell's going on with this UFO update. Charles sent some article from Portland where people are dressing up as aliens or something like that, but surely that can't be the update that Michael's referring to.
No, let's. You want to do UFOs?
Yeah, or we can do the Cuomo debate. The Cuomo debate hasn't happened yet.
The short story is Lou Elizondo, who hasn't given an interview or hasn't been giving a lot of information out publicly, just claimed yesterday on Ross Coulthard's show that he was threatened by the deep state. His life was threatened. And that the second revelation was that in a lawsuit, they found out that the DOD wiped all his public records from their servers. Lou Elizondo was the former head of ATIP, which was the agency investigating the UFO phenomenon and overseeing the crash retrieval programs. And they scraped everything. They got rid of it.
So when you say they scraped everything, you mean the existence that he was employed there? I mean the proof that he was.
No, they still have the existence that he was employed there, but all emails, communications, documents, all the work the program did is all gone. And the reason we know this is because it was subpoenaed in a lawsuit. It's all, and the DOD is either refusing to turn it over, but they say it's all destroyed in violation of the stipulations of that lawsuit.
Wow.
Here's a little clip of Luis Elizondo on 60 Minutes.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Luis Elizondo.
I mean, I don't know. He's kind of ruining his credibility with that goatee, but seems like a solid
Some people
dude.
say some people say he's a spook, but that's when you get way down the UFO rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, if 60 Minutes is interviewing him, he's got to be legit. I mean, I know that sounds sarcastic. That's not sarcastic. Like, I genuinely believe, like, if 60 Minutes is sitting down.
The allegation is
he's legit in the sense that he's a real person who has like a real background.
That has a real background in this and probably has some verifiable knowledge about what he's claiming or verifiable proof.
I think 60 Minutes probably fools around a little bit. Michael, what were you going to say?
The allegation is that he's controlled opposition.
Oh.
Okay.
There are people in the UFO world that think he's part of a government psyop, and he has the backstory that he says he has, but he is only putting out information as prescribed by their psyop.
Well, you're in the UFO world, Michael. What do you think?
I don't know. I probably lean into that, and maybe this whole revelation thing is some sort of PR stunt for him to build credibility. It's possible. I don't know. I don't know what I believe. All I know is that the UFO programs something's happening, and they don't want to tell us about it. That's all I know.
Something is happening like recently? What do you mean?
Just in general. It all went quiet after the Grush hearing. We had that big revelation in front of Congress.
After Mexico revealed their aliens?
That's true. We're like, oh, yep.
Okay.
There they are. That's what they
sounds
look
like bullshit. So, all right, what's up with the Cuomo and Dave Smith debate? It hasn't happened yet. I think it's May 30th or something.
May 31st, they're going to debate Cuomo's record on COVID while he was on CNN.
Okay.
Which should be interesting.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, what's there to debate? I think he fucked up.
His position was he was operating with the best information that was available, and he made mistakes. And Dave Smith's position is bullshit. You were intentionally lying, and I'll prove it.
Yeah.
How did I get everything right? And you have access to the best experts in the world, access to all the government officials, all the politicians. You got everything wrong, and some guy on a podcast was able to get everything right. It's not sheer coincidence. Yeah. And they're going to debate it.
Well, we'll have to pull some clips for, what is that, May 31st? We will have a show, I guess. Oh, man, we're going to have a show till a week after that on the 7th. We'll have to pull some clips.
Maybe we'll do a special show.
A special show. All right. Well, I think that's it for time today, guys. It's a short one. Sorry.
Short one. Always fun.
It is always fun. I guess I'm the host today, so I got to sign us out. Everyone, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Michael appreciates it. Charles appreciates it. We appreciate Miss Blain the most. Thank you so much for listening, Miss Blain. You're the best. Please subscribe, share with your friends and family. Put it on the internet, tweet about it, do what you got to do. You know where all the buttons are. We have our Twitter handles and our name on our screen here, but I'm at Brad Swail, Charles at CJ Blain 10, Michael at M Searle ATX. All of those will be down in the description if you're listening to audio. Guys, thank you so much.